Welcome to the YZ Chiller Announcement webinar. We first announced this chiller last week and are excited to share some new information about this revolutionary chiller with you today. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Brian Smith, Director of Marketing for the Chiller Solutions team, and I want to welcome all of our guests from around the world, whether it's a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening to you. Let's go through a couple logistics for this webcast. All attendees are currently in listen-only mode. If you have any questions, please submit them to the Q&A window that's going to be on the right-hand side of the GoToWebinar screen. We've scheduled plenty of time for questions after a brief product presentation from our esteemed presenters, who I would like to introduce to you now. First, Laura Wand is the Vice President and General Manager of the Global Chiller Product Business. Ian Casper also joins us, and he's the Vice President of Strategic Programs of Global Chiller Products. And lastly, we have Daniela Bilmanis as the Product and Strategy Manager for the York YZ Chiller. Now, Laura is going to kick us off, now introducing this new YZ Chiller.
Thank you, Brian. As he said, we are so excited today to be talking about the YZ. This chiller is industry changing. There's an opportunity with the new low GWP refrigerant that's been demonstrated in other industries to create more efficient solutions. And that's what we've done by fully optimizing the chiller design using a holistic approach. So the YZ was not created just to use the new refrigerant. It was created to unlock higher chiller efficiencies that are available with the new refrigerants. And we've done just that. It is the new benchmark for efficiency. This means up to 7% improvement in IPLV part load performance and up to 5% improvement in full load performance. That's delivering IPLVs at the 0.297 levels and full loads below 0.50, as low as 0.49 kW per ton. And not only is it got superior performance, but we are on day one launching an extraordinarily broad range of capacity from 165 to 1,000 tons so that we can serve all of your cooling needs with this revolutionary new product. Let me bring Ian on and talk a little bit about some of the technologies.
Thanks, Laura. The YZ is bringing together some groundbreaking York innovations. It's also combining them with technology that's been refined over decades of real-world use. And all that comes together to create a revolution in chiller design and optimization. Just a few talking points of what you see on the screen is, we mentioned we're using a new refrigerant. It is a low-pressure refrigerant. That's not something you've seen from us in the last 10 or 15 years. But if we look back over the last 100 years, throughout R11 and R123, we have long seen some of the efficiency benefits that can be available with low pressure refrigerants, and we're bringing that back to the market now that there's a great new option that's been brought to availability in terms of a new refrigerant. We're introducing another product with magnetic bearings. This is something we've been doing for a long time. This is well proven throughout our Navy systems. We serve multiple navies with the reliability and durability of magnetic bearings. The YMC squared has been offering a lubrication-free solution to the market for several years. And we're also using variable speed drive. Many of you out there know that York really innovated the variable speed drive on chillers. We were the first to use them on chillers, and we have been optimizing and perfecting this for decades. We're also, with the YZ, continuing the use of high-speed induction motors. This is an awesome technology that's really been taking strides in recent years as foundation of next-generation hybrid electric vehicles. It's showing up as a very reliable, efficient technology, and it's been proven for in the chiller world and HVAC for many years on our variable speed-driven air-cooled screw chillers. as Laura mentioned, our innovations in chillers are focused on moving forward the efficiency frontier, always getting better and delivering part load efficiency, which represents the real world conditions that your chillers operate in your buildings. So that our YK, which has been a flagship product for more than 25 years, is an incredible offering, but we've started by adding variable speed drive to that and increasing the part load efficiency 23%. The YMC squared added the benefit of magnetic bearings and reduced friction and increased that to 28% improvement. And now with the YZ, we're pushing forward that frontier again to an unprecedented level of 35% improvement over a fixed speed centrifugal. But one of the things people have loved about York centrifugal chillers for many years is not just their efficiency, but their broad operating map. So the map you see on the screen now focuses on percent load on the x-axis and entering condenser water on the y-axis. So this star would represent a typical design point of an AHRI type condition, 44-degree Fahrenheit evaporator and 85-degree Fahrenheit entering condenser water. And the dotted line represents sort of the typical range of chillers available in the market in terms of an operating map. And the YZ, like the YMC squared and similar to the YK, offers a much broader operating map to customers, which gives you both added reliability, but also added performance. The top side of that graph represents maybe a dirty cooling tower or a failure of a component in the condenser water system, something that's unexpected but forcing you to operate in a condition that is on the high end of the operating map for a chiller. And our operating map will let you run reliably and maintain cooling. And the lower end of that map represents entering condenser water temperatures even below that which is factored into the IPLV part load formulas that you compare chillers against, running below 65 and below 55 and down to 40 degree Fahrenheit entering condenser water temperatures. It creates incredible levels of efficiency at those operating hours, which are many in many parts of the world. This chart even demonstrates that ability that 40 degree entering condenser water can be lower than the 44 degree leaving evaporator water temperature, and we call this inverted operation. This great portion of the operating map gives you not only great efficiency, but the ability to offset water side economizers and reduce cost and complexity of your systems. So one of the features we like to talk about with our magnetic bearing chillers, like the YZ, is lubrication free. But there are some people that will associate magnetic bearings and oil-free operation. And that's true. Magnetic bearings do not have oil, but more importantly, they don't have a lubrication system. So if we look at the chart that's on the screen in front of you, you see traditional centrifugal chillers are used an oil lubricated system, very tried and true. Oil is a great lubricant, and these systems are well proven, and it offers a great initial cost system. There are some design practices that would allow you to use a refrigerant lubricated ball bearing system to eliminate the oil out of the chiller. But if you notice on the chart, a refrigerant lubricated system is equally complex as the oil lubricated system. They simply are just using a different lubricant and using a lower viscosity lubricant that likes to change its phase from a liquid to a gas. And so in the end, that lubricant's a little less reliable than oil, which is sort of world-renowned as an excellent lubricant. So for magnetic bearing systems, simplicity is the key to offering superior durability. The removal of all of the lubrication system means all of that complexity is reduced down to a sophisticated, magnetic bearing system that has the kind of durability that navies around the world depend on for a superior chiller. And that simplicity is the key to not only durability, but reducing the maintenance, which is, I think, what really delights customers with commercial chillers. So that lubrication-free, non-contact design of the YZ chiller provides system simplicity. It provides reliability that's far beyond any continuous contact bearing, whether it be lubricated with oil or lubricated with refrigerant. The chart that should be coming up on your screen now starts to talk about dramatically lower cost of ownership. Right? We just talked about 3 different kinds of ways to lubricate bearings or not lubricate bearings, as in the case of the YZ. Those different driveline options come with different cost of ownership in terms of maintenance. Of course, there's a big cost of ownership benefit from the efficiency of the YZ chiller, but when we start to look at driveline maintenance, so this chart is focusing on just the driveline. We're assuming all chillers need tubes cleaned and some general health checks, but the driveline maintenance is where you start to accumulate costs over the life of the chiller. So when we look at this, you see that a lubrication system comes with a lot of regular maintenance checks that accumulates over time. And although the YK oil-bearing chiller doesn't require a teardown at a 15-year interval, many compressors do. So we show that those lines have the cost of some regular maintenance, and then with an interruption of a spike of cost from a teardown and an inspection, and sort of a rebuild part of the way through the life of the chiller. But these lubrication systems are creating driveline maintenance that are 100 to 150% of the initial cost of your chiller. When you compare that with a magnetic bearing system, that driveline maintenance is less than 10% of the cost of the chiller. So this design means you've got no scheduled compressor teardowns, you've got components designed to last the life of the chiller, no filters to change. It really is a significant benefit to your total cost of ownership. We're going to keep going with this. I'm going to hand it over to Daniela Bilmanis and let her go from here.
Thank you, Ian. So through a secure connection, our available smart connected chiller technology uses a cloud-based analytics platform that combines remote monitoring and predictive analytics to proactively diagnose potential issues with your chiller, reduce downtime, and provide added peace of mind on the York YZ. Smart connected chillers can analyze historical data to look for long-term trends. They can help investigate potential issues, and it overall provides a more strategic approach to preventative and predictive maintenance. Customers can count on York to minimize downtime and safeguard your system's performance for the long haul. Less time to repair means you get back online sooner if there ever is an issue. And when maintenance is required, you can rely on our global network of 15,000 technicians operating from 500 branches in 150 countries to provide any necessary on-site services for your chiller. In addition to the awesome benefits already mentioned by Ian, the YZ is creating a new definition of sustainability. Providing the lowest possible emissions means more than just using a low GWP refrigerant. Real reduction in emissions comes from optimizing all the components on the chiller for the highest possible efficiency. So high efficiency, not the refrigerant choice, is what makes the YZ so sustainable. We like to use a measure called total equivalent warming impact, or TEWI. This is a measure of a chiller's direct and indirect emissions. It's recognized by many different organizations globally, such as the EPA and BREEAM. And for a chiller, the direct emissions are determined by the refrigerant that's used. This accounts for less than 5% of the TEWI value. Indirect emissions for a chiller are determined by the amount of energy used by the chiller, and this is more than 95% of the TEWI contribution. So truly optimizing all the components for highest possible efficiency, which we've done on the York YZ, is the best way to get the lowest total emissions. We didn't make the YZ just to have a low GWP product. We did it for high efficiency. We saw an opportunity to advance the efficiency frontier, and we took it. The YZ is the first chiller fully optimized for ultimate performance with a next generation low GWP refrigerant, delivering superior real-world efficiency, low cost of ownership, and a new definition of sustainability. So, exceptional efficiency or environmental stewardship, we truly chose both by developing the York YZ. Before we start answering questions, we wanted to just take a moment to direct you to york.com/next, where you can access some additional materials and resources. Many of you have probably already seen the site since you've signed up for this webinar. Thank you for joining us. But there's a great chiller interaction on there that allows you to view some of the amazing animations and videos that we've created to further explain the chiller and its value. As you've probably seen in the chiller introduction video at the top of the page, the YZ has a bit of a personality of her own. So we invite you to chat and submit questions directly to the chiller through the chiller chat feature on our site. There are also some downloadable files, such as the sales brochure, engineering guide, and product summary, just to give you an overview of the product. And we'll be showing the chiller at AHR in Chicago, Mostra in Milan, and China Refrigeration Expo in Beijing this year. So we look forward to seeing you at these shows where you can see one of our real production-style chillers at the expos. And of course, please don't hesitate to reach out to your local sales office because they're all excited and ready to share more information with you about this chiller.
Okay, thank you, Daniela, Ian, Laura. Now we will open up the session to questions. As a reminder, the Q&A section is on the right-hand side of your screen. We see a number of questions coming in, so please don't hesitate to ask any questions, and we will try to use the remaining time to answer any questions that you may have. I'll just give it a moment here to ask the first one. Okay, here's one for Laura. Where can I get one of these chillers? Where are they available?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you. So we're also not only are we excited about the breadth of the offer, the 165 to 1,000 ton breadth, but also the ability to be able to produce this chiller in all of our chiller factories around the globe for sale in all of the regions with the applicable codes and standards. So if you're on planet Earth, you can buy one of these chillers.
Okay, I think we're all there. Let's see here. Okay, well, here's an obvious one, maybe to a few. What are you doing about your other magnetic bearing chiller, the YMC squared? Is this going to replace it, or are you going to discontinue it? Maybe Daniela, can you take this one?
We are definitely not discontinuing the YMC squared, which is our current mag bearing product. With the YZ, we're just adding to our portfolio and offering more options to our customers. So if they're reaching for the highest possible efficiency, the YZ will definitely be the right answer, but the YMC squared is not going anywhere in the meantime.
Okay. So enjoy a much longer continued life.
Correct.
Right. Well, just to confirm, we have maybe an availability question. Laura, let's see. Laura, we talked about, or Ian, maybe take this one.
Sure.
We talked about the availability of the product, but you know, in the aftermarket and service, what about the availability of the refrigerant?
Sure. Our 1233ZD is definitely available globally. There are two different manufacturers in the chemical industry that manufacture this refrigerant. In fact, 1233ZD is a very popular refrigerant in the foam blowing market, and it's used in a lot of other adjacent industries, which have led to its distribution around the world. So, of course, when we launch a new product, we work very closely with our suppliers, and we have made the proper arrangements to have availability of refrigerant, either direct or through the authorized distributor of the manufacturer around the world.
Okay, great. Let's see, next question. Daniela, can you take this one? How about the footprint? How does the footprint compare to other chillers?
The footprint is pretty comparable to other chillers on the market and our own existing chiller platforms. So even though it is low pressure and the compressor gets much bigger to move more gas flow to get the same tons, we still managed to keep the package size comparable to chillers that are on the market today.
Okay, great, thank you. So maybe another one for Ian here. We talked about the availability, the product itself, the refrigerant. What's the lead time? How soon can I get one?
So we just had a whole lot of interest and excitement in this product internally through our sales teams around the world. So we've from the beginning of this product development committed to ramping up inventory at the time of the launch, and so that we're going to be out there offering this product to customers amongst our other portfolio of chillers at our normal lead time. So it depends a little bit where you are in the world and which factory you're working with and which size chiller. But a typical 8 to 12 week sort of lead time is going to be our expectation right from the start.
Okay, great. It looks like there was a question, maybe it went kind of quick. Just to repeat something, Laura, that you had said, can you go back to the efficiency of the product and just just summarize that again, what the efficiency was at full load, part load?
Absolutely. So first of all, we use the phrase IPLV, that is the integrated part load value, and a standard way of measuring how the chiller will perform in real world conditions, not just the design conditions. For that, which is 90+% of the operating time for a chiller, we are talking about IPLV values as low as 0.297 kW per ton, and we have solidly broken the 0.50 kW per ton barrier for full load and have product readily available as low as 0.49 kW per ton.
That's amazing.
It is.
Okay. Ian, here's one for you. I know you were involved in the technical design of the product. It's a low pressure refrigerant. So does the YZ incorporate a purge unit? Can you tell us a little bit about the purge?
Yes. With any low pressure refrigerant that has the possibility of operating less than atmospheric pressure, which we do, if there was ever to be a leak, it could allow air into the machine as opposed to leaking out. So, ASHRAE and other codes and standards out there require that, and we think it's the right thing for our customer to provide that. So we will have a purge unit as a standard feature of the YZ chiller. It's a purge unit designed by the team here at York, and it's integrated into our OptiView control system, and it's a very seamless portion of the chiller design.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see, next questions. So Laura, maybe you could take this one. It's kind of related to the question about YMC squared as well, and probably the YK and some other products, but the materials that we've published so far have suggested there's no risk to using 134A. How does this announcement change that? What's the impact in our position?
Thank you so much. So there is no risk to 134A. There is no phase out of that refrigerant. There is discussions about how to handle HFCs broadly that will be years in the making. However, 134A remains a phenomenal refrigerant that is serving a huge portion of the air conditioning marketplace, and it continues. So what we've said throughout all of this is that the YZ, using the 1233ZD, gives us the opportunity to increase the efficiencies of our chiller line by unlocking the efficiency gains of this refrigerant through a fully optimized platform, not a drop-in, a fully optimized platform. So that's what we have sought to do, and that's what we've achieved. So it does not foreshadow any change to strategies around 134A. That's a terrific refrigerant that is broadly used safely, without any flammability issues, a terrific refrigerant, so it will continue in place. This one allows us to get to different efficiency levels. That's the excitement.
Okay. Well, while I have you, one other quick question maybe is is this product AHRI certified?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Care to expand, or that's enough?
That's enough.
It is in the directory.
It's in the directory. Look it up.
Okay, great. So maybe Danielle, there's a couple questions around application, and
Yeah.
so what's the range of application for this product, and in terms of the customer application, as well as maybe our story around condenser water temperatures or year-round operation?
Sure. So for the chiller itself, the main mode of operation is comfort cooling. This is its sweet spot application range. So the chiller at this point in time cannot operate as a heat pump or a heat recovery unit, but this is just a start. We'll add features as we go. And so, comfort cooling applies to all sorts of customer applications, whether that's a data center or a university or a hospital. We can meet any of those needs. In terms of the minimum entering condenser water temperature for this chiller, that would be 40 degrees Fahrenheit for the entering condenser water temperature.
Okay, great. So you can take advantage of the off-design
Absolutely.
conditions.
We are still pushing real-world energy.
Okay, great. All right, let's move on. Another product offering question, maybe Danielle, while you're here. What about the YK line? We talked about the status of the YMT Square, but what about the YK? What are we doing with that one?
Yeah, definitely not discontinuing the YK product line either. That is a fantastic flagship product for us. And, especially for some of the reasons I mentioned on the YZ, we can't cover all application ranges just yet, and our existing products will still serve those markets very well, which is why we future-proofed them with 513A.
Okay.
In addition to that, we continue to invest.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
drive improvements in our YK and our YMC squared line. So we really have the broadest range of centrifugal chillers available in the marketplace. We continue to invest in all of them so that we can deliver the right solution to the right customer, no matter where they are in the globe.
Okay. So Laura, a quick one maybe. How can we have somebody, if someone wants to hear from us, how can they contact us? How do they get somebody in touch with them?
All right, so I think Daniela hit on a couple of ways to get a hold of us. So everybody went into york.com/next to register for this.
Mm-hmm.
You also have a contact place there. If you'll do that, that's great. First and foremost, contact your local JCI sales office. Everyone around the globe has been trained on this and is in the process of coming up to speed and able to serve you for your specific needs. As well, we'd love to see you at the AHRI show, Mostra Cavigna, or the China Air Conditioning Show. And what did I miss? Oh, and Chiller Chat. If you play around with Chiller Chat, it's a lot of fun, and in there, you can ask it to have someone contact you.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question. Ian, maybe a little bit of differentiation in terms of, so what? How is this different from other chillers using the same refrigerant?
Well, I mean, first of all, Brian, there's not a lot of other chillers using this refrigerant. I suspect over time there will be. I think the biggest difference between the YZ and other new refrigerant products that we've seen advertised is the level of investment and optimization of the design specifically for a new refrigerant. So we've seen some examples of some chillers that have come out able to use the new refrigerant, but that's not the same as putting the investment and getting the absolute maximum performance out of the new refrigerant. And that was really the focus of the YZ development.
Okay. Let's see. Ian, another one for you. From a design standpoint, is this more or less just the old YT product that we've dusted off and freshened up?
We love the YT.
Yes, but I think you can guess the answer to that one. So I would say two things here. We definitely built a lot on our heritage of everything we ever learned from R11 and R123 and many years of low pressure refrigerant use. But since the last time we designed a low pressure chiller, boy, has the technology evolved a lot, right? Variable speed drives have become ubiquitous. The use of magnetic bearings has become very popular commercially. But what you can do with motors and bearings has changed a lot. Heat transfer has changed a lot. So not at all is this a dust off of the YT. This is really a reboot using the best of today's technology, optimized for this sort of refrigerant.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Let's see here. So, Daniela, a lot of portfolio type questions. What is our product offering? Can you tell us a little bit more about what we're going to do with our larger chillers, so above 1,000 tons?
Yeah, so we're always investigating what's possible. We're looking at all available refrigerants, and we're looking at different technologies available to us. Right now, I don't think we have a next generation refrigerant plan that we're willing to share on larger chillers. But in the meantime, that's why they're available with future-proofed 513A.
Okay, Great, thank you. Let's see. Jump back to Ian here. Can you tell us, we said it's available around the world, but what about manufacturing? Where do they come from?
Sure. Maybe I'll start by setting the baseline. Right? Centrifugal chillers today for the York brand and Johnson Controls come from three main final assembly factories. We have a factory in San Antonio, Texas, that serves North America, South America, and a lot of the Middle East. We have a factory in Wuxi, China, that serves all of Asia. And then we have a factory in Nantes, France, that serves the European market. And those are our centrifugal chiller plants, and that's why we've chosen to launch this product into all three of those plants right from the outset of the launch. So depending on where you are in the world, your chiller may come from a different place, but all of our centrifugal chiller plants are receiving this new product at the same time.
Okay, wonderful. Let's see here. Danielle, an application question. From a machine room perspective, with this new refrigerant, can you tell us a little bit about the refrigerant and any requirements for the type of hazard classification it might have?
Yes. Our 1233ZD is an A1 refrigerant. That means it's low toxicity and non-flammable, just like R134A is. So there's no new mechanical room requirements for the YZ chiller as compared to the YMC squared or the YK.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe a quick one, Daniela. Is it available with 4160 volt motors, so high voltage motors?
No, it's not. So because we standardized on VSDs, the VSDs are all standard low voltage VSDs. So higher voltages like 4160 are not available at this time.
Okay, all right. Bouncing around a little bit here. So back to the refrigerant topic, Ian. Maybe a quick one here. I think why R1233ZD and not R513A?
Well, I like the question, but I'm going to answer a different question. I'm going to say why 1233ZD and 513A, right? Because we actually have both. I think 513A is a great option for products that are designed and built for use with 134A. It can guarantee customer a certainty of getting the value of that investment, a useful life over a long period of time, and it allows those products to have a second option for customers depending on their needs. The use of 1233ZD in the YZ chiller, again, it's really not a discussion about is the refrigerant better. It's a question of is the efficiency higher, and the answer is with optimization you can get there. And so 1233ZD to us is a great new refrigerant being made available by some other industries in high volumes, and it was an opportunity to deliver new value to our customers.
Okay. Let me see here. So Daniela, back to an application question. For standard comfort cooling applications, why would I choose a YMC squared versus a YZ?
Great question. So like we mentioned a few times on this call, the YZ was developed to move the efficiency frontier forward. So if you're in an application with high run hours, or you're a life cycle type of customer who's going to own the chiller for a very long time and you're very concerned about your energy consumption, we would recommend always going with the highest possible efficiency option available to you. And in some cases, that might be the YZ over the YMC squared. A lot of our customers like to talk about payback over different options. It's not easy to provide a simple answer on what the payback of the YZ might be over a baseline chiller, because, you know, run hours and application hours vary drastically all over the world. So we recommend talking to one of your local JCI sales representatives, and they can run some analysis for you, provide selections and options, and let you know what that payback would be for going to higher efficiency levels.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see. Okay, Ian, another one for you. When it comes to the environmental benefits you get with this product, how does it reflect, or how does it help with the LEED program and getting LEED points?
There's really probably two facets of LEED that we could talk about. One's real simple. There's the LEED, I think it's the EA4 credit for refrigerant. Because of the low GWP of the refrigerant, we always would qualify regardless of the charge amount in the chiller. The other way of working with LEED is to increase the efficiency of a system beyond its norm, and certainly having the most efficient chiller in the world available could help you reach higher efficiency levels at a system.
Okay. Looks like the questions are slowing down.
I would make sure we encourage everyone, because there's a tremendous amount of interest as we're seeing through all of our events here, but please reach out and contact your local sales team. Again, you can do that through the york.com/next and ask for ask to be contacted. Call up your office, go through the chiller chat, and ask to be contacted. So we've made it as easy as we could think to have you connect in and be able to talk to folks about your particular chilled water challenge and how the YZ or any of our platforms are going to be able to solve it.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Looks like we're going to wrap it up just a few minutes early here. Appreciate everyone joining us.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Any closing comments from you, Laura? Or
Ian? We're real pleased that so many folks have dialed in today and joined us, no matter where they are in the world. And we are looking forward to seeing you all in all of the events planned throughout the rest of this year. But again, thank you for your interest, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Please get the information off of our websites and contact our sales teams.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, great morning, great afternoon, wherever you may be. Thank you.